My brothers and sisters in Christ, yesterday our daily lectionary cycle flipped from late in the Gospel of Matthew to early in the Gospel of Luke. Late in the Gospel of Matthew, especially in chapters 23 through 25, were the great themes of eschatological realities, things concerning the end of judgment, of eternal matters. And so while the Gospel of Luke has flipped to the beginning, we find in our first reading a continued unpacking of this theme of the need to be ready for the unknown hour when it will come. And this reading uses the image of the sudden labor pains that comes upon a pregnant woman. And I find this to be a powerful image. For a lot of people, certainly everyone, especially those women who have already had children before, develop kind of their own systems of how they handle their pregnancy when the time comes. But generally speaking, a lot of women aside, especially in a first pregnancy, there might be Lamaze classes, different things, the coaching, the preparation for what happens. But also, often amongst husbands and wives, there's the idea of the ready go bag when the time of delivery comes near. For the woman that may know her delivery date that's scheduled, but doesn't know the moment when her water will break and she'll go into labor. And so there's the need to have the plan ready. At the drop of a hat when that moment comes, how does mom get to the hospital in the soonest sense? Is there a bag already packed and ready waiting by the door? What are the plans if there's other kids that need to be cared for? These are all the things that husbands and wives can plan for to be ready at the drop of a hat when that moment comes. This image is powerful because this is something very practical that expectant mothers need to do, but it carries over to the readiness we should have in the spiritual life, which is how do we live every moment ready for the coming of the Lord? Not just of seeing it as someday, or I'll be ready whenever I need to be when that comes, because we don't know. It may be 5 minutes from now. It may be tomorrow. It may be 100 years from now. It may not be in my lifetime. Although, again, for each of us, even if the return of the Lord at the end of time doesn't happen in our mortal lifetime, each of us nonetheless at our hour of death, which is probably unknown to us, will be our moment of particular judgment. That will be the hour for each of us. And so, one way or another, there is something of great gravity coming, but we don't know when. And therefore, we must be ready today and in each moment. And therefore, we must live our lives in this readiness. Do we have the bag packed? Do we have the things needed that we need always at the ready? Our spiritual tools, those forms of sustenance. Do we have the plans and ready? Are we attentive? Are we disciplined? Are we taking care of ourselves? All of the things that a mother needs to check for, we ourselves should be doing in our spiritual lives. For at a time we don't know, at an unknown day or hour, like the woman going into labor, the Lord will come. Will we be ready? May God bless you all.